right, Chris, next question. As an executive or officer in a company, what is the best way to approach existing ownership about a potential purchase without risking your current position? That's an interesting question.
That's a great question. And it's a soft question, right? Meaning that depends on the personality of the owner. Sometimes I can tell you that over my career, I have, dealt with owners that were very approachable, and you could always talk to them about those things, whether you were an outsider at a commercial bank, or you were the CFO, or you were managing a significant division for them. And then I've had other ones that I had known for more than a decade, and they were 70 something years old. And I asked the question, hey, I'm not going to say his name, but, hey, so-and-so, have you thought about what you're going to do with your company? And he was tremendously offended. So a part of it is knowing your audience, just like anything else, right? But I'll put a little bit more meat on that. I mean, use some, level of deductive reasoning. If the owner is, 45 and really advancing the company and going, they're probably not going to want to entertain a discussion about it and have some level of a defense about it. Mm-hmm. If the owner's in their 60s and there's not an heir apparent, someone who's essentially been running the day-to-day, or son or daughter, niece or nephew, something like that in the company, then I think that in that case, if somebody is very approachable, but be sure to do it in private. Never do it with an audience of any sort, and be sure to kind of have some things lined up potentially before you do. Not full funding, of course, but have an idea of what a transaction would look like, so that you will have a high degree of credibility as you talk to somebody.
Good advice. Chris, what is the general due diligence period?
In the old days, it was 3 months. It was kind of a standard thing. And again, it depends on the industry. But what you're seeing now is that these private equity firms have teams that do this, or they have a standing group that they outsource a portion to. So, a more typical time period is slicing about 30 days off of that for the type of firms we deal with, so around 60. But that's real due diligence. That's not the initial phase of sort of getting to know the company financially. That is actually, once a letter of intent is in place, once a deal has essentially been struck, and it's time to go on site and look at company records and meet with, large customers and things like that.